Hey there, family and friends. It's been a while since I did a construction update. Well, this time it's a flood update. So this week, Pacific Northwest got a ton of rain in a very short amount of time. Behind me, this is 3 days, let's see, Thursday morning, this is Friday, Saturday. So this is Saturday, the 13th of December in 2025. And this behind me, this is our maize field. And this is what's left after 2 days of the water going down. But everything else behind me, just picture it all just being covered with water. I'll try to see if I can find some footage and cut it in. So, for those who followed along over this past year, you know that we raised our house. And so how did the house raise go? How did we fare? And I have to say, it went awesome. So there's the house. It's raised. The water didn't make it in, so it was low enough. But again, with how high the house is built on a mound, prior to us doing the construction, the crawl space under the house was like just above the field level. And so if we hadn't raised the house, the HVAC system would have been wiped out again. So one, yay, the HVAC system is not wiped out. Two, the amount of stress that I had going into this week was significantly lower than the previous years when we'd have big rains on the forecast. So right now we're just dealing with the aftermath because, yes, even though the house is raised, there's still aftermaths when flooding happens. For us, a lot of things have moved from where they were before the flood. So we spent a little time today tracking down, like, oh, where are the shiitake mushroom logs that we had, or things like that. Chickens, we were worried. They have this upper area here. The chickens hung out in that upper area. And so, note to self, I need a different solution for the chickens, given that the water can get pretty high. So we'll need to think about that in the coming years. Maybe they'll get a house lift. That's something that I could do myself. We had a whole bunch of scrap wood from when we tore apart the deck. That's weather treated wood, which is actually quite useful on our acreage. We've been out there to pick up some wood for side projects like nonstop for the last year and a half since we made that. And so we had 3 piles. One of the 3 piles is now over in those trees behind me. So they moved around. We had a big stump that we'd mount signposts on for our trail system. So we had to go find the signs. We have, lake hybrids right here. It's still in the middle of our field. The dogs were loving it though. They were running through there. I'm still waiting for the opportunity to catch a fish with my hands when they come through here. It's steelhead season in the Humptulips. But no, we weren't lucky enough to have a fish trapped in the field. That would be awesome though. So yeah, let's see, other things that went wrong. Our septic system, because again, we didn't realize this was such a flood risk area, that when we bought the house, the septic system needed to be replaced. So we put the septic system over here, and then that mound is the pressure mound for the septic system. So all the big vessels are underground here, and so they flood, and so we have to deal with that. Can't use the bathrooms or whatever until we get enough of the flood water that has flowed into the septic system out. See, our trail system's highly flooded, but what's awesome about that is we now have frogs. You might hear them in the background, I don't know. And we have like Matilda and Jess, they went out and kayaked in our fields, which again is very rare for us to do, but they literally kayaked all the way to the river. They didn't go in the river. The river's down now, but they had a great time doing that while I was dealing with some of the, like the septic and stuff like that. So yeah, if we come over here, you can kind of see, but just the torrential amount of water flowing through this field, coming towards our house, hitting like things like our septic mound and stuff, and just wherever it can find a low spot, it'll just go really fast. The other cool thing about this is a lot of our neighbors reached out. So whether they saw the videos with the house raise, or Facebook posts, I checked in with some of the neighbors to see if they're doing okay. But we, for example, today we had someone swing by as they saw us in our yard, like, "Hey, you guys fare okay?" So that's really cool. Nice thing about some of these communities is you get to have interactions like that. But you see all the grass, was so flowing in one direction. And so that's right in the waterway that the floodwaters drain, is this little tiny stream that's behind our house. And so yeah, so far I think we recovered as many of the shiitake mushroom logs as possible. So there's one little stack there that Matilda found, and all the way over there is another stack that my dad was out here that he helped gather up as well. But all in all, was the house raise worth the expense? I think so. It's we definitely so much less stress. So if you're thinking about it and you want to stay in an area that's at risk of flooding, I highly recommend looking into it. You don't have to go as crazy as ours. That's what made it expensive, is we turned it into a garage. But if you want to just raise it 3-4 feet, keep it on posts and beams, that sort of thing, it may be cheaper than you think, and there may be FEMA money to help out with that too. So yes, we're doing fine. The house survived quite well. We don't have to replace the HVAC system, so that's good. And our stress levels are greatly reduced. So again, thanks to everyone who reached out and checked on us. I did make a mad dash to the farm on Wednesday night when it was pretty obvious that it was going to overflow, to move the tractor, which we keep on this sort of field level in the tent that we saw at the beginning of the video. I was able to move it into underneath the house, and so that gave it good 4 or 5 feet of extra elevation so that it wouldn't get damaged. And I'm very glad I did, even though that was a very long night. I think I left at 6 and I got home back to the Seattle area around 1 a.m. 1:30. And so there's definitely some things that we'll try to do better as we plan, but we at least believe we don't have to worry about the house anymore, and that's a huge relief. So again, thank you everyone for your well wishes. Thanks for checking in, and yeah, until next time. See ya.